All right, welcome to the Muscle Maturity Podcast. We are on episode 57. I am John Hansen. I'm here with my co-host Samir Bannout. And Samir, we are a little over 1 week away from the Mr. Olympia. This is the one we've been waiting for all year. It's going to be in Orlando, Florida next weekend, November 3rd, 4th, 5th. So are you going? Are you going to make the trip all the way out there?
I'm going to make it. I'm in Connecticut right now, in Danbury, Connecticut. Came in to hang out with some friends. Yeah, I'm making my flight hopefully tonight or tomorrow. But I'm coming.
Okay.
I talked to Matthew Media, and I got a lot of really exciting weekend. I mean, we need to be there. So
Yeah.
I'm not going to miss that one. So
yeah, I hope I can make it too.
well, that's in your backyard. You could drive 1 hour. 1 hour away, aren't you? How far?
Yeah.
Hour
and a half.
Yeah, it's nothing. Walk in the park for you. So, but I'll definitely be there. God's willing. God's willing.
Well, next week we'll do our picks for the Mr. Olympia. We'll do our top 5. We won't do that this week. We'll do that next week. So the big story this week, we didn't have any pro shows last weekend. So the big story this week is Nathan D'Asha, who won 2 pro shows a couple weeks ago. He is not being allowed to travel over to the United States. I guess he traveled here and then was told he had to go back. So now he's trying to get back to England and then come out again. So he was denied, his visa was denied, and now he cannot come out to compete. Which I'll tell you, Samir, I kind of had a feeling that was going to happen. That's why I think he was doing a lot of those pro shows just in case this couldn't happen again, you know. So now he at least got some prize money for winning at least 2 pro shows, and I think he was pissed off that he lost to Regan in that other one, but now he can't make it to the Olympia.
Why did you have the feeling wasn't going to make it? I mean, that was his main goal, to get to the Olympia. Yeah. But there is something definitely wrong. I don't think a British passport aren't allowed. I mean, everyone I know from the UK, they come here. They don't even need a visa.
Yeah.
So,
well, I think this has happened to him, I think 3 times now. I mean, he has been the Olympia in like probably 5 or 6 years.
There has to be a reason, Sean. There has to be a reason, nothing political. Yeah. It's got to be something personal between him and the law. I don't know. I'm not so sure. But I know like the Iranian champion having an issue because there's a political situation between the 2 nations. But I mean, me personally, I would let athletes to compete from anywhere. But I think in Nathan's case, there has to be something that he gave him that red flags. That's why he's not allowed. So I hope he can resolve that problem.
Well, I don't know if you remember when they had COVID, he had a gym and he wouldn't shut it down. And I think they arrested him at that time. So maybe that's still on his record, you know, or whatever.
Probably that's one of the things. But what I know there's a reason. It's not like political. It's not like, oh, a British citizen can come here tonight without it.
Oh, yeah.
It's a piece of cake. Now, I'm shocked when I heard that yesterday. If my friend told me, I'm like, oh, my God. I don't know Nathan personally, but I'm aware if you have something you have done illegal, something involve illegal activity, then I know another friend who has some issue back in the days. It's still until now he can't come to the United States. So they must have done something not right.
The IFBB put out a statement, and I don't know, like Dave Palumbo mentioned on his show, maybe the IFBB should hire some kind of immigration lawyer every year. So when they have these problems like this, they could help, make it easier for people to get over.
Did Nathan says any reason? What's the reason why he's not allowed to travel?
I don't think so.
Well, there has to be a reason. I mean, come on. The U.S. immigration will never turn down a British citizen unless there is something, completely harsh, something not right. So,
could we play that video, Scott, from that he left on there? I don't know if we could play that or not.
I'd like to hear it.
Well, guys, what's going on? We're here in Florida, in customs, being sent home. We've died all this time. We've trained hard. when we get this far, and yes, we are denied to get in. The lady on the counter was very abrupt, very arrogant. There's no reason in arguing with someone like that. What can I do? I've trained this hard. I've worked my ass off. To be denied at this point is, devastating. I'm not going to get upset about it. I'm not going to cry about it. It is what it is. I'm alive. I'm healthy. That's the main thing. If anyone knows any reason how they can help, then let me know. Right now, confused. Like I said, I'm not going to get upset about it. If you don't like me, don't leave a nasty comment. Not all the time.
There has to be a reason, John. You feel bad for him. He was already in the United States, and they sent him back.
Right.
So there is something on the record. There is definitely a reason. He didn't say why he was denied.
Yeah.
So
he was all the way in Florida, and then they sent him back.
Shame. That's too bad.
Yeah.
I mean, feel bad for these guys. He's already winning competition, all the prep. Like you said earlier, maybe the IFBB should hire an attorney, immigration attorney, and deal with something like that. I mean, that's not very common. Most of the problem usually, Jean, when someone comes from a country which is not an ally with the United States and they have some kind of a war activity going on, that could happen. Personally, I would allow athletes to come in. I don't care where you're from, what's your religion, who you are. You're welcome to come in, compete, and go back home. But in Nathan's case, there has to be something we don't know what it is. So,
Behrouz from Iran is not being allowed to compete either, and he was looking really good. I mean, he could have been a dark horse in the show. He could have been someone that might have made top 6.
Now that's sad and unfair because we know Hadi had that problem. And then Hadi is okay. He came, compete, he won the Olympia, now he's okay. He's have a green light. But when they see a champion who's already doing very, very well and he's competing, I mean, come on, be fair. Yeah. This is the immigration issue. I don't know who was the day who was that person or the consul that interviewed him to get the visa. I mean, that's not right. They should allow him to travel.
Hadi's already here. He's training already for the Olympia. Nope. He's in the United States.
He's already been here, done that, and didn't violate. So he's back and forth, no problem. And he's a peaceful man. I mean, probably still they look at it. Who is that person coming to the United States? Is he going to cause problem? This is what This is how they speculate, and they think everybody enter this country from a nation like the Middle East region or Iran or whatever. They right away they look into terrorist activity. Come on. There's a lot of good people everywhere, and athletes busted his ass. Let him come in and compete. Yeah. Unfortunately.
I wonder why do you think Hadi can get in then? I mean, this is now his 5th Olympia, I think, because he was in it in 2019, 20, 21, 22. This will be his 5th one, his 5th year.
Well, he's already proven that peaceful man. He came in, he competed. They had no problem at all. But, I mean, they should give what's his last name? Behrouz?
Behrouz. I don't know what his last name is.
I think he should be given the benefit of a doubt. Come in, compete, and, keep him under your radar. The guy's going to come and compete. He's a peaceful man. Look at that. He looks great. It's a shame that he's denied. Great. That's not fair. That's totally unfair.
Behrouz Tabani. That's his name.
I mean, can you imagine me back in the days? I came from Lebanon. I competed, man. You know what? I love this country. I would never do anything illegal. But come on, we should treat the athletes fairly. Come on. I don't care where you come from. Don't matter. If you're Russian, Ukrainian, Syrian, Lebanese, Iranian, let him compete.
Yeah, look how great this guy looks.
Unbelievable. Really, I feel bad for him.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah, look at the hard work.
It's gotta be so frustrating to look that good and not knowing you can't compete against
very frustrated, John. It's really, your heart goes out, you feel it. I mean, look at you and I, we know how hard it is to prep, even we are locally doing it. I mean, listen to this. One time I applied for a visa. Remember we were talking about the George Snyder story last week with Phil
Yeah.
Williams? I applied for my visa to go to Mexico because during the time in the early 80s, I wasn't still U.S. I was a resident. And I had a green card. But they said, oh, the rule, you have to apply for 1 week before. And anyhow,
Yeah.
it was a little bit too late. You know what? I was bummed out. My heart was broken.
Yeah.
I was
yeah.
competing in Acapulco. You know, Tom Platz and I were in Michigan together. He went and Tom won the show. And
Yeah.
that was it felt so bad being in America and you couldn't go to Mexico. How do you like it?
Yeah.
And you know what? We used to go to Tijuana. We drove to Tijuana, no problem, on your driver's license.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's a shame. Some of the rule and regulation sucks, bro.
Yeah. Yeah, you might have been Mr. Universe 1 year earlier instead of 79.
Could have. I mean, I'll tell you one thing. I would have gave Tom Platz a hell of a run for his money in that show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tom wasn't as big there as he became later on.
Yeah, Tom was Tom was good, you know. I felt I could have pushed the hell out of him. I probably could have won too, so we don't know. You know, but so I didn't go. I couldn't go. I mean, I cried, man. I was like sad. I was so sad, John. I mean, I could feel for Nathan and Behrouz. I mean, these guys are really devastated right now by the news. So, shame.
Yeah.
Really shame.
How's Tom doing? Have you heard anything lately? Because he had that thing with his face.
I don't know, but you know, a couple of people told me Tom's face didn't look kind of. I don't take my word for it as far as that whether he have a stroke or something. As a person I know that he understand medical, he said that look, it's like he had a stroke or something. I have not talked to Tom since, but I hear he's okay, and thank God he is. But I haven't seen him. I mean, I think he's somewhere. I'm not sure. He's not even in Southern California now. So
really?
I don't bump into him at the gym, whether I go to Gold or anywhere. So I think he's living somewhere else outside California, or he's pretty, you know, he traveled to Europe quite a bit. So, yeah, I hope he's doing well, though. God's willing.
Yeah. Well, the other big news this week, I think it was released yesterday, the IFBB said that starting next year, well, actually starting with this Olympia, you have to make the top 3 in order to automatically qualify for the next year. So it used to be top 5.
Yeah.
And like you and I were talking, it used to be before that, it was top 6. If you go way back in the day, it was the top 10.
Yeah.
So now you have to make top 3, which is going to force a lot of these guys to compete more often. Year, you know?
Yeah, that was shocking. I was talking to Scott earlier, and he told me, I mean, that's going to make it a lot higher quality Olympia by, you know, just taking the cream of the crop. Because, you know, you've seen sometimes some contestant, honestly, maybe about 5 or 6% of the contestant not belong on that stage. I'm serious. I mean, you want to see more competitor, but I want to see a quality competitor. Yeah. So now by cutting it into 3, I can understand what the IFBB Pro League is doing. And Jim Maney said, you know what? It's Mr. Olympia. Let's have all the top-notch competing. We just don't want to have many just standing there, take time. And, you know, in a way, I don't mind it. I think it's not bad.
Yeah. No, I think it's good because we had a lot of pro shows this year. I think they got more pro shows than ever. But you're right. I mean, aside from the Arnold Classic, I can't think of really one good show this year where we had really a good lineup, you know?
Yeah.
Not like the old days where, you know, you'd have like – I remember seeing the Night of the Champions in like 98. You had Levroni, you had Ronnie Coleman.
Yes.
You had Milos. You had all these, like the top 10 were unbelievable.
You're right.
And this was, you know, really, really tough competition. Now we've had many pro shows this year where there was not any good competition at all. There was no big names. I mean, they were not exciting shows, really, to be honest.
We can name 25 guys right now who was competing to Mr. Olympia. But honestly, I only about 15 of them get my full respect. No disrespect to the other one. But,
Yeah.
I mean, Mr. Olympia is the cream of the crop. It's the ultimate show. And having guys who are like not 100% qualified, I think it's a good thing, really. I like the way Mr. Mannion is thinking. So, you know, Jimmy's decision or the MPC Pro League decision to cut it down a little bit is a good thing, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we should see much better pro shows next year, right?
Absolutely.
I would think.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Because, I mean, look at the Olympia this year. Let's just say Hadi, Derek, and Samson are the top three, which a lot of people are picking. So that would leave Nick Walker.
Yep.
That would leave who else?
Brendan Curry.
Brandon Curry, if Hadi or Big Rami.
Nathan Diacha's not going to be in. And then what is his name? The guy, Behrouz. And I mean, you know, Hunter Labrada has got to make the top three.
Yeah, Hunter Labrada, yeah.
Right. And
Andrew Jack.
Samson. Yeah. I mean, you know, nowadays, even guys like Samson is not guaranteed to make the top three.
No.
As good as he is.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, can you imagine? You know, we're talking right off the bat, you're talking Derek, Hadi, and, you know, I mean, these guys definitely in the top five. I mean, for all I know, guys like, what's his name? Our buddy, what's his name? Not Andrew Jack, not Brandon. My
Krizo?
I think Krizo will not make the top three.
No.
As much as I think he's capable, but I don't think so. And speaking of that, John, a couple of days ago, I saw a video of Regan Grime. Honestly, I have to say, he looked way better than he did at both shows. His skin was like more like onion skin. So whatever Regan is doing right now, seriously, and no bullshit. You know me, I don't care who's coaching him. I don't care whether it's Milos, Hani. I'm just talking about Regan Grime. He's really looking good. And he can prove me right because he have the capability of going way up to the top five. Look at the video. What do you think, John? Check it out.
Yeah. Well, he's very sharp from behind.
Wow. Sure. I mean, I'm impressed. And his posing has gotten better. Look at the separation of his glutes, hamstring, diamond calf. He's doing good. So
maybe just needed more time on the diet. Maybe he just needed the diet longer and his skin got thinner.
Hey, John, if he's looking like that, this is 3 days ago. I'm sure he's got another, 1 week to go?
Mm-hmm.
So I bet you he's going to be a force to reckon with. I think he'll make the top five. I really do think he'll make.
You think he's going to make top five? All right.
I think he will. The reason why, Jean, you look at Regan has no weakness. There's no obvious weakness. Only his presentation wasn't approved by me. But his muscle quality, his shoulders, arm, the balance. The guy's got a beautiful body. Look at the waist. But I think his skin gotten thinner. I'm surprised because I think, you know, with all due respect to his coach, I think his coach is pro-mass, always pro-mass. We're talking about Milos. But whatever he did in the past 2 weeks, honestly, it's approved. His skin becoming like paper thin. So this is what's going to make a huge difference for him on the stage. And what do you think? Seriously, do you notice quality changes?
He's got the structure. You know, he's got the height, he's got the structure, he's wide, he's got the small waist. So
and the size, he's a big boy.
Yeah, the size. Yeah. Just needs to dial it in.
Yeah.
It'll be really interesting to see what happens if he comes in really ripped.
He dial it in and show it right. I think he's in the top five. Seriously, I know you didn't agree with me when you and Nick were not Nick, sorry, you and Phil. You didn't think he'll make the top six. If he stays the way he was, no. But if he improve on what we're looking at in that video, I think he could make the top three. Good.
Yeah.
I wish him luck. But look at his lat. Look at where his lat goes all the way down. Great
Yeah.
triceps, great shoulder. He's missing
Yeah.
nothing, John. I'm being honest.
Right.
I don't know if he think I don't like his coach, but I'm just talking. What I see is I'm talking about what I'm looking at. That's it. The guy's looking great.
Yeah.
For sure.
What do you think about him versus Krizo? Who do you think's going to be better there?
Honestly, he's actually putting a little bit better than Krizo, putting together better. But Krizo's incredible. Krizo's missing nothing. Krizo quality-wise, probably better. But Krizo is like, he's just not in control.
Yeah.
I mean, Krizo in control, he's a top 5. The old Krizo, the one we are aware of already, that cost me a major sushi plate, that will not cut it. Krizo, the way he looked the year before Jean, I would not bet you anymore. Because I was there. But if he managed to control what he has, oh my God, he could be extremely dangerous. I mean, look, he's not even flexing. You see separation in his body, quality.
Yeah.
The guy's good. He's good. Probably be the best shoulders and arms in bodybuilding right now.
Okay, so last year he totally screwed up his presentation. Like his posing was off, his tan was off.
Yeah.
Everything was off.
Yes.
So it seemed like he learned from that
I hope so.
last year or this year when he competed in that pro show. The pro show he needed to win to qualify. He looked like his posing was better. He's no Lee Labrada, but his posing was better. His tan was better. His presentation was better.
Mm-hmm.
So now we've seen what he looked like at the Olympia last year, where he was way off. We've seen the improvements this year. Do you think he's going to make more improvements for the Olympia, or what do you think?
John,
what do you think he's going to look like for the Olympia?
I agree with you. He improved quite a bit when he won that show in Europe. But he wasn't standing next to Regan. He wasn't standing next to Derek and Hadi. And so I like to see him in really super duper shredded condition, in control of himself. I want to see that facial expression. I'm the winner.
Right.
He doesn't have it. His color looked like, I told you, he looked like Casper the Friendly Ghost. He just didn't look right. And I looked at his body and said, oh my God, if I have his body, I kick ass all over the place. He just don't have control. You know, like for example, I'm going to jump into another topic. I've been working with a gentleman, Doug Fruchet, Douglas Fruchet, who's like, we started posing about a month and a half ago. Started, and it was 292, huge. Right now, he's under 270, and oh my God, he's posing so much better. And I told him, I said, Douglas, you're a lot better, but I'm not happy 100% yet. So you can never be good enough. You need to improve. And if Krizo doesn't do that, forget about it. Right. He will not break the top 5 unless he does that. And I'm not saying, work with Samir. Go to Frank Zane. Go to Labrada and really learn how to make every move count.
Right.
We talked about it over and over. But I honestly don't think he's going to make the top 3. No, John.
You don't think he's going to make the improvements he needs to make?
The most improvement he needs to make is his presentation. His presentation is very weak, John.
And his stage presence.
His face says when he's on stage, I lost. That's what he said. Hadi Chopin, his face says, I'm here to win. Right. You could see it on the face. Like Labrada get on stage, I'm here to win.
Right.
When I was in 83 Olympia, I was confident. I liked the condition I was in. I went on stage and I'm here to win. That's the only way. The judges read that face, your attitude, your presentation, every little move you make. Though these guys they think they're taking the Mr. Olympia lightly. I'm big, I'm ripped. That's not enough. You can be huge, you can be ripped. I'm not talking even Regan grime. Regan has beautiful body. I still see he needs some more adjustment. And I'm sorry, I'm going to say it as is. As it is. He could control that body 10%, 15% more, his chance is going to be excellent.
Yeah.
Same thing with Krizo.
That's why last year when we were making our bet or we were picking our top 10, I knew that I could predict that Krizo wasn't going to be in it because just the videos and the pictures when he was posing in the gym, he didn't even look like he knew what he was doing. You know, it's like his facial expressions, the way he posed, and I'm like, this is in the gym. When he gets on the biggest stage in the world, the Mr. Olympia, this isn't a local show. This isn't just a pro show. This is the Mr. Olympia.
You got me on
that. I knew it.
You got me on that, John. You got me on that. And I swear, if I have 100% control of his presentation, you give me 1 month with this guy every other day, and I will guarantee you his improvement will be like unbelievable. I mean, every little thing counts, every little move, it makes a difference. And people still...
It just goes to show that, you know, the body isn't everything. Even though it's a bodybuilding contest, it's more than the body. When you get up there, especially in a big show where you're competing with professionals, it's how you present yourself. And everything counts. Like you said, you got to have the tan. You got to have the posing trunks. You got to know how to present yourself on stage. You got to know how to just stand there right. You know, you got to have the attitude. You got to have the transitions. You got to have the poses. It's all important. And if you're not experienced, like he's not experienced, that's what
I couldn't have said it better, Shawn. What you said is exactly what it is. You know, you go back in the day, you look at Lee Labrada. I mean, Lee Labrada wasn't a monster, you know, but Lee, again, we need to talk about it openly, nicely here. Lee and I posed together when I was in Texas. Lee Labrada, he was already a fairly good poser when I met him. I saw him competing in the Texas when I was in Austin. And I was impressed. But then we posed a little bit more together. And then when he came to Southern California again, he knew in order for that 180-pound body or 185 to be a giant killer, he had to show it. So Labrada was in the driver's seat. Labrada could have won the Mr. Olympia in Rimini, with all due respect to Haney. I think Labrada could have been one of the Mr. Olympia. So here's that what tells you. You don't need to be 270 pounds to be Mr. Olympia. If you show a total package, okay, I'll give you another example. Put Frank Zane at 210 pounds. Frank competed at 180, 185. Put Frank Zane at 210 or 215 now. Guess what? He'll stand in the middle of all these guys, and guess what? You won't look at anybody else but Frank. Mm-hmm. Because he's a master. He knows what to want to show you. And when Krizo have this capability, Krizo or Regan, they will easily, Jean, break in the top 5. I tell you, I guarantee you. And they still don't talk what we're saying seriously enough.
I know.
They have to take it seriously. What's wrong with you guys? Right. What's wrong with you? I spent 50 years in this game, and I'm not here to bullshit and run in my mouth. I'm telling you, John is telling you, if you have an airplane, you don't fly it right, you can't hit your target. You have to be in control of what you have. And so that's what it is, John. That's what
what else I think about? Like Arnold, when he first came to America and he lost that Mr. Universe to Frank Zane. Mm-hmm. So Arnold's 250 pounds, Zane's 180 pounds, and he was so shocked he lost to Frank Zane. He was so much bigger than him. But then he realized, after he got over the loss, he looked at the pictures, people were talking to him, and they said, Arnold, it's not just about size. He's got the symmetry. He's got the definition. He knows how to pose. He's tan. He presented himself better, and that's why you lost to him. So what did Arnold do? He learned from that. He learned.
Thank you.
The next year he came back. He was ripped. He knew how to pose better. It was like an unbelievable. So you have to learn from your losses. You could have the biggest body in the world like Krizo, but if you don't know how to present yourself and you don't have all those little fine details ready,
kiss it goodbye.
it doesn't matter how big you are. And then the other way works too. Like you could have a guy who's much smaller who shouldn't be winning, and he can win if he knows what he's doing. I just watched. I was looking at YouTube last week, and somebody posted the whole 1982 Mr. Olympia from London, the one you were in fourth.
Yeah,
and you could have won that contest, and a lot of people, Chris Dickerson won,
right.
And a lot of people criticize Chris Dickerson. They're like, he's the worst Mr. Olympia ever. He had a torn bicep. But I'm telling you, when you saw him on stage posing, he was so professional.
Thank you.
His tan was perfect. He wasn't the best body, maybe, but he presented himself like a champion.
Thank you.
So I could almost see, I could see why a lot of those judges placed him high,
Well, 100% people don't realize Chris Dickerson was one of the master. He was masterful. You could see his face. He was proud.
Yeah.
I am an eagle. You could be a hen or a chicken. I am an eagle. Chris Dickerson, Frank Zane, I'm an eagle.
Yeah.
You want to be a chicken? Go ahead. Big chicken don't mean. So, look at it. You were talking about Arnold learning when he lost to Frank Zane. He learned. Okay, well, same thing to me. In my case, I was almost in last place at in Sydney, right?
Right.
And so I was learning. I studied Frank. I studied Arnold. And I knew it. Once my body and my condition is put together properly, along with the presentation, I knew right there it would be, that's the solution for me to be a Miss Olympia. I did just that. Yeah. And so, look, to say I was the biggest Miss Olympia, hell no, I wasn't. At 196, I beat guys like Joseph Polkosh, Les Dreyer, Berto Fox, Lee Haney. These guys were monster.
Yeah.
So it's not always the size. It's the total package. The presentation is how to show it.
Yeah.
And this is why these guys are listening to our podcast, with all due respect, Regan Grime, Krizo, or whomever, take this advice from us and be masterful. You have to work on creating line and how to move.
Yeah.
Work on your attitude on the stage. This is a big part of the battle right there. You got to be proud. You got to have the winning face. Okay.
Yeah.
So, Dickerson, you're 100% right. Look at the face.
Yeah.
Dickerson was a masterful. I had probably better abs than Chris. My back was as good as his, if maybe a hair better. But I matched Chris in every muscle, my arms, my legs, and the thing is, maybe some people may thought, Frank was more professional as presentation, although my presentation was good. Don't forget, Frank Zane, he wasn't 100% on that show.
No, he wasn't.
He came in second place.
Yeah.
In all honesty, that show, Casey Viator and myself could have been right up there. Could have gone. Could have changed the result. But,
and you mentioned Berto Fox in '83, but Berto was also in this show in '82, and I watched his posing routine, and he was in good shape, but he was almost like a Krizo today. Like he had the body, he had unbelievable size, but it just didn't present it right. It didn't present right in the posing routine, and he didn't really get the most out of his body. Remember what Arnold used to always say? Arnold used to, like, when people would come to Arnold and they'd like look at him, they'd say, hey, Arnold, can you look at me? I'm getting ready for a show.
Yeah.
And Arnold would watch him, and Arnold would always say, if I had your body, I'd win.
Of course. That's what I'm saying. You give me a Regan Grimes body right now, or Krizo, and guess what? I will write a shirt, Mr. Olympia 2023, Samir Bannout, or Krizo. I would be that confident because I know the weaknesses of the other competitor. You know what I'm saying? If you give that body of Krizo to Zane, let Zane operate that body or Labrada. You know what? These guys easily in the top 3 finalists.
Yeah. Yeah, they got all that equipment. They know how to use it.
The creativity, doing what looks good on you. Every pose count, transition. That's what I'm saying. Look at Doug Fouché right now. He's got a show in 2.5 weeks. He vastly improved, and he still say, you know what? I want to improve more. So he knew he already knows that that's necessary for him to get into the winning circle. I really think he's got the body to win. He's in incredible shape, and he's capitalizing on that part of it. So, you know, we still have like maybe 2-3 sessions to go before he competes. So it's so.
Well, let's talk about some of the other guys in the contest in the Olympia coming up that aren't really like the top big names. Like, I think the big names, I think we could all agree is, you know, obviously Hadi, he was the winner last year. Derek was second. Samson won the Arnold, so he's going to be a big name. Nick Walker, Lee Labrada, Andrew Jack.
Not Lee Labrada.
I'm sorry. I always say Lee Labrada. Hunter Labrada.
Hunter, yeah.
And then Andrew Jack.
Yeah.
And so I think those guys, everybody's, you know, pretty much, you know, agreed upon that they're going to be the top 6, 7, you know. But we got other guys going in, like Justin Shier. He's going in his first Olympia. He won that Chicago show. This is his first time in the Olympia. How do you think he's going to do? He's got good symmetry. Do you think he has a chance of making that top 10?
I mean, we talked about him earlier. You know, he seemed like his arm, good V shape, and I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, the Olympia, it's not just walk in the park to break into the top 10. It's a very congested show with a lot of superstar, you know, a lot of top athletes. I mean, you know, when you stand next to Nick Walker and Hunter and you know, Krizo, he's not going to be as impressive size-wise. But his physique,
what do you think? What does he need to do to really impress the judges? Just come in really hard? Because he's not going to be as big as some of those other guys.
More ripped you get, the more you show your strengths in a very harmonious way, the better your chances. I mean, I'm looking at his last spread here. Beautiful. Diamond calves, small knees, good quads, good triceps, shoulder to waist. I mean, the guy looks great. He looks great. So let's see how he's going to look on stage. I mean, I like to see him moving. And these photos, he looks very impressive. Look at that. I mean, the guy is big too.
I think he needs to be better from the back, from what I remember, from what other people were saying. Oh, here's his back.
Let's see the back.
Oh, it's good there.
Not bad. I mean, I'd love to see him moving. That's the thing. His arms are huge. Yeah. Shoulders, arms are huge. Does he have a video? He could show video of him posing. I want to see him moving.
Yeah, he beat John De La Rosa at that last show.
He did?
I think it was kind of close. So,
well, yeah, De La Rosa was pretty good in Tampa when we saw him against Hunter.
Yeah,
it was pretty good. So if he beat De La Rosa, and De La Rosa was in top shape, so he's pretty good.
How about Tonio Burton? He was another guy that won a pro show this year. Another kind of smaller guy. He's coming from the 212, but he's got a lot of hard, dense muscle. You know, he's really thick, but he's not a smaller guy. Not going to be as wide or as big. As some of the other competitors.
You see, Sean. Sean. Look, we always discuss. Can you go back to that old picture, the first picture, please? Okay, if you look at him from the side, the biggest mistake they are making today, nobody takes the triceps into consideration. The triceps is one of your most important weapons from the side. When you take your arms back, and he's not even sucking his waist could look even tad bit smaller, but you need to show that whole shoe to make your triceps stand out. You will look so much better. I think his hamstring could be better from that pose. But again, some of those guys in their presentation, they mess things up, John. I'm sorry to say it. And you know what? Look at why lifting the arms so up high.
Right, putting his arms forward.
I mean, his back is pretty good. He's muscular, thick, and then the idea of spreading the legs too wide, it's the wrong thing to do, John. It kills your overall harmony. And they continue to do it. And I would love to see the judge. Look, and the last spread looks pretty good. That looks, because his feet are closer together, John. And that created more balance, okay? And the idea of spreading those legs too wide, it really, they're not paying attention, or whomever helping them was posing, not telling them that. I think the judges should really crack down on some of these things. They should not allow some of these things like that, John. These are not acceptable. I mean, we love the game. We want to enhance the game. We want to help the athlete. Every time I talk about it, from the side, show the triceps. You don't go like that. You go like that, you lost your tricep. You're ruining your body. You're not making it pretty. Spreading the legs wide open is the wrong thing to do. And who should I talk to here? Who should I talk to? Who is the man that listened to me? Who is the main judge right now? Should I talk
Steve Weinberger?
to Steve Weinberger? Steve, you are an old schooler, my brother, and you know me. I love you. You're one of my favorite people. Come on, Steve. We need to tell this guy to show their triceps from the side. Come on, Steve. Come on. You know, you and I have been backstage from the early '80s. You know, and so the legs should be close together. Come on, guys. Please wake up.
Yeah.
I'm not blowing hot air, just bullshitting you. I'm telling you, this is a necessary step to take. You need to show your tricep. Anyway, so, I mean, look, he's got a good body, Jean, but when we look at the photo and the way, look at, legs are wide open, not good. Put him closer, got better. So, this is some of the thing, you know, these athletes, with my minor adjustment to a positioning, they can stand out much more.
Yeah.
But
how about
going to be tough top 10 though, John, in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't think he's gonna. I would predict he won't make top 10.
I think it's going to be difficult from the first try. Yeah.
Hey, we didn't talk about Brandon Curry. Now, Brandon, of course, won the Mr. Olympia in 2018, so he is a Mr. Olympia winner. He got 4th last year, but if you remember 2 years ago, he was a very close second to Big Ramy. So, I mean, just 2 years ago, he could have been Mr. Olympia again. So it seems like everybody's kind of counting him out. Why are they counting him out? Because he took 4th last year?
You know what? I don't know why people become so negative, because the body changed, you know. I mean, he can make the proper changes. He can come back looking better than he did when he won the Olympia. I mean, Brandon Curry's got a great body. The only thing I criticize Brandon, and it was fair, and we're friends, you know, he knows I like him. Long time ago, I told him that he's that great. Seriously. I thought Brandon need to improve this hamstring a little bit, the bottom part of his hamstring. Okay? Mm-hmm. But looking at him like this from the front is amazing. The guy's got a lot of muscle, beautiful physique. I mean, but anyway, who is 100% perfect, Jean? I don't know. I wouldn't put Brandon. I won't write him out, but he needs to come in shredded to get that recognition that he had before. He needs to be sliced to the bone. There's no other way. There's no other way around it. There's no other way. Derek is not going to win the Olympia unless he come in really shredded.
Right.
Neither do Hadi show. You know, Hadi's Mr. Olympia. If he doesn't come in 100%, forget about it. So for Brandon to be back to the good old Brandon, I wouldn't personally write him down. I wouldn't put him down. I think he just needs to come in 24K quality.
Yeah.
Look, the guy's got everything. Incredible arm, great shoulders, huge.
Oh, yeah. He's got such a beautiful body. I mean, it's, you know, the way his muscle structure is. And he's just it's always a matter with him of coming in really ripped or coming in full. And last year they pushed it to be full, and he wasn't hard enough. And that's why he ended up in 4th, because that top 3 last year with Nick, Derek, and Hadi, those guys were all in prime time condition. They were really peak last year. So Brandon couldn't get past them. But if he comes in with that quality, you know, that perfect combination of being ripped and then having the fullness too, I think he could beat a lot of guys.
John, my recipe to peaking is be ready 1 week out. 1 week out, you are ready. You are ripped to the bone. Your skin is like saran wrap. And then give that last week, assign that last week for recovery.
Mm-hmm.
Just load up properly, put your muscle back in, and make sure you don't spill over. Calm down, do a little posing, be full and dry. If, I think Brandon will do that. I mean, come on, dude. He's dangerous.
Yeah.
I would never write Brandon out. I would never put him down that he's not good enough. He's great. He's missing nothing.
Yeah.
Just a little more improvement to the hammy, little bit. But everything else on him is right on the money.
Yeah.
More quality, John. More quality.
Yeah, I hope he hits his peak. He's a great bodybuilder.
He is great. I've always liked him, even when he wasn't winning back in the days, talking 10 years ago. He wasn't winning, and all of a sudden, boom, 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 he came together.
Yeah. Yeah, me too. I remember like over 10 years ago when I used to write articles for Get Big. No, it wasn't Get Big. It was bodybuilding.com. I used to always do the Mr. Olympia report for bodybuilding.com. And I used to go down all the competitors, all the way down like 20 competitors. But I always said, Brandon, I go, man, this guy's got the genetics to be Mr. Olympia. You could see the shape back then. And he wasn't even nearly as big then as he is now. He's way bigger.
You ask him. I told him that 1,000 times. I told Brandon that he's damn good. Love his physique. But I think Brandon back in the day, he was over dieting. That's why he come in flat. Once he filled up and followed the new concept of like higher carb, lower fat, and then peaked properly, then he won Olympia. He almost won it twice. It was once was Rami. It was like that, So I don't see why not him coming in like onion skin, saran wrap shredded.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to write anybody off. I'm just going to wait and see who is going to be on stage. Because Brandon can pose too. Brandon is a pretty good poser.
Yeah,
he doesn't do weird poses.
Well, when he took second to Big Rami 2 years ago, he came in bigger because he knew he was competing against Big Rami, so he had to be bigger.
Yeah.
And then last year, I think that Rami was the reigning Mr. Olympia champion going into last year.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he was expecting, I got to be big again. And I think that's why they filled him out. But then Rami ended up in fifth, and then three other guys who were not. They didn't go for the fullness; they went for the conditioning. And those were the guys that beat him. So I think he might come in more conditioned this year.
I hope so, man. I love the guy. He's such a classy person. He's a sweetheart.
Yeah,
I would love to see him back to his top condition again.
Yeah, me too.
So,
all right, Samir. Well, before I let you go, let's talk about Shawn Clarida, because Shawn Clarida is going to for the last topic, let's talk about Shawn Clarida. He's going to be the defending 212 champ.
Yeah.
And he's coming back to win again. So he just posted an update as well. You think he's gonna repeat? You think he's gonna win again?
He's a warrior. The guy is a warrior. I mean, for his height, for the way I see him train, he's amazing. He's amazing. So I don't know who is he going to be up against, but I know one thing: this guy, Clarida, will come in ready. He's just balls to the walls, man. He trains super duper hard. And who's against him, John?
Man, I'm blanking out. I can't think of the Keon Pearson.
Oh, well, listen, now Keon is another guy. As I've always been talking about Keon. Keon has a great physique. Yeah. And I think Keon, for a while, I think we saw him in one of the shows where he missed his peak. I love his shoulder to waist ratio, the rib cage. He's got everything. But somehow the final phase, I think he kind of doesn't fill up properly. And if he does, come on, I think he's going to really give Clarida a huge problem. He will give him a huge problem because, honestly, I like them both. But, I like his body a lot. I think, his physique is one of the best, in my opinion. Keon has a great physique.
Yeah.
With no obvious weaknesses. Look at that. But he always loses like 10, 15 pounds. I guarantee you he's losing about 10 pounds of muscle every time he's competing.
Well, he's been a lot bigger and a lot fuller the last couple of times. So I think he's got a new physique now,
Well, let's hope he peaks properly because he's got all the necessary weapon to beat anyone, really.
Yeah.
So with all due respect to Clarida, I mean, the guy, have beautiful body too, and he's a warrior. He's thick and condensed, but Keon is not a walk in the park guy. If he's ready, he's a troublemaker, big time troublemaker.
I think Keon's got a better structure. The wider shoulders, smaller waist. But I just think Shawn's got that quality, dense, hard muscle. He's always peaked. He's always in shape. He's going to be really hard to beat. I would go with Shawn. If I had to put money, I would go with Shawn.
That's the whole thing. Who is going to come in looking more prepared?
Yeah.
Physique-wise, I think Keon has more advantage.
Yeah.
Seriously. He's incredible. Now, Clarida, also thick, dense, and pretty complete. But if you have to ask me, if they're both exactly on the same level of prep, Keon is going to win.
Yeah. Well, you might have a point because remember a couple of years ago when Shawn lost to Derek. Remember when Derek won the 212 before he went to the Open? And Derek had the better structure too. Like Keon's got the better structure. So
Derek,
I remember seeing that show and I was like, yeah, Shawn's great. He looked great. He improved from the year before when he won it the first time. But then I'm like, he can't beat that structure, man. He couldn't beat Derek's structure.
Shawn is peaking properly. Keon is messing it up. He's messing it up the final week. Let's hope he'll put it all together. Then it's going to be more problem for Clarida.
Yeah.
And so let's hope we'll see him on stage. It's really hard to sometimes pick one because it could be either way. It's pretty close.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And speaking of Derek, I was going to say, I saw this couple back shot of Derek doing the last spread.
Yeah. He looked unbelievable.
Well, his back is like coming outside, like he's farther away from his elbow.
I know.
He's looking
and so thick.
He's looking really good. So he's going to be very hard to beat, man. I'm telling you.
I know, because he definitely looks like he put on a lot more muscle than last year.
And I didn't think he need to put on more muscle. The guy has got everything, and so look at that. That's what I'm talking about. You know what? Jeez. I would make some adjustment to that pose. I would bring my arms farther back and bring the triceps to make it like, how Kevin Levrone, when he hit the last spread, he make sure he showed the tricep. I want Derek, if he's listening to this, Derek, let's engage more triceps because you have an incredible tricep, bro. Look at the back. Holy crap. It's unbelievable. Incredible. Look at how much.
Ronnie Coleman. Yeah.
He's looking great. I'm really impressed by that quality with that size. So.
Yeah. Me too, man.
He's a big troublemaker.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is. Look at that. He is. Yeah. So
his rear double bicep from the back, he is just unbeatable.
I'm telling you,
in the whole sport, I don't think nobody's got a rear double bicep like
Derek
that.
is the most dangerous.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so it'll be exciting to see these guys next week. So.
Yeah.
How's Hadi looking, by the way? Quickly, how's Hadi?
He posted a posing video too, but it was kind of farther back and not in the greatest light. I don't know if Scott can find it. But I think he's obviously going to be in great shape.
Of course. Yeah. I think Hadi is a warrior. You know what I like about Hadi, he's always come to the competition excited. You could see, I'm here. I'm in the winner's circle easily. Yeah. So it'll be interesting, man.
You can see the legs.
Oh, yeah. Look at that.
He's got that hardness from the front, so Derek's just got to match that hardness,
Yeah. I know. It's going to be a tough show for sure. And I'm actually happy that they narrowed it down to only the top 3 to qualify each year. So
Yeah, for next year.
yeah. Wonderful. Well, here we go. Another show, John. And
Another Olympia.
no more betting. No Krizo betting.
Yeah.
No more. I make bet with you about something else. Who's going to win the Olympia?
I don't know. I'll tell you next week.
For sushi, John.
Let me ask you this here before we go. If you could pick who you would like to win the Olympia, not saying they're gonna win, they probably won't win, but who would you like? Who's your favorite bodybuilder out there that could win the Olympia? If you had to pick one guy, like this guy's my favorite. I would love to see this guy win.
Oh man, I'm talking about beautiful physique. Come on. I mean, look, you and I were not biased. I mean, we know we were there. We know Derek and Hadi are going to be the closest to. But then again, come on. We know also when you talk about Andrew Jack, you talk about Samson. Those guys have a great body. Let's see what they're going to bring to that table. I mean, I'm not going to say Krizo because until he show up with what we discussed earlier, his chance is not going to break the top 5. I am sorry, man. That's my final decision. But look, Andrew Jack's got a beautiful body. But honestly, I'm thinking Derek is going to make it this year, and Hadi's still going to fight him to the last drop. Yeah. And then, wow, I don't know, man. I think either Andrew Jack or Samson, if Samson get that paper skin, or if Regan Grime pull a miracle, get a little bit better and pose better. So I like his body too. So,
I would say Andrew Jack. I think if I could pick somebody to win the Olympia, I love that guy's physique. I mean, to me, I look at him and I'm like, that's Mr. Olympia. 6'2", wide shoulders, small waist, unbelievable abs. God, that guy, to me, that guy is the most impressive physique. I don't think he's going to win. I'm not going to pick him to win, but I wish he would.
Why not?
It just seems like the judges,
John,
they're a little tough on his way. I just think the judges are hard on him for some reason. They don't like his legs from behind, or I don't know what it is. But to me, I think he's perfect. I would put him in first place.
Andrew is incredible. And again, look, Samson flows really, really good. But I've already made up decision. My decision is, I've already said Derek is the man to beat this year. And he's got lots of muscle density, and his back looking damn scary right now. So I think Derek is the most dangerous one. Who do I like to win? Honestly, I like the best man to win. That's all. So I'm not biased here. Even if Regan Grime comes in and throw a Hiroshima there, maybe he could. So we'll see. So.
All right. Well, next week we'll pick our top 6.
Sounds good. We'll be there.
All right, Samir.
All right, John. Good chatting with you again.
I'll see you next week.
You guys keep it old school.
All right.
The only way to go is old school, beautiful, classy body. Mass was class. Anyway, talk to you soon, John.
See you next week.
Yeah.
All right.
Bye-bye.